Hello everyone, how are you doing? Today I will share a story about the Onion King. This is to the future kings and queens if you would like to be one of them. So here is the story. This story is about how a farmer became the king. They call it the Onion King of the Pie Island in New York. Do you know that in the United States nowadays, the only agricultural product you cannot trade futures is onions. You can trade wheat, corns, and many other stuff like beans or things, but not onions. Why? What happened there? So today I will share the story. It is about a farmer, Kasuga, who was born in January 17th, 1915. He was raised in Pie Island, New York, and he owns a large farm. And it's not that far away from nowadays the famous Rick Minkus farm. For Rick Minkus farm now, they grow half the onions in the New York state. So when you ask the Kasuga this mean name in this neighborhood, now people they may not want to talk about it. So what is the story about this guy, Kasuga? Other than a farm, like the onion farmer, Kasuga was also a very, very smart businessman. He likes to bet on the futures market. Initially, he bet on the wheat, but he lost a lot of money. He said, why don't I do about onions? Because I know everything about onions. And he capitalized it in the mid-50s, become very rich and famous. He made himself the master of onions and the master of the market. He was known as the Onion King of the Pie Island. However, what he did also broke all the rules, and his actions resulted in the legislation which banned onions from the futures trading. That is the only commodity with such a ban in the United States. So what he did, in 1950s, he began to store his onions, all of them, on his farm, and also he built a lot of storage places and collectively with some other people. So he began to buy and store onions secretly across the country with a few partners. At that days, there's no internet, nobody knows about it. He also decided to use his trading expertise to buy future contract on the onions to be planted. So by fall 1955, he trapped the onion market, and he owns about 98% of onions in the United States. They call it, he cornered the market. He controlled the onions in the United States. So Kasuga, he kept his onions off the market and created a false shortage. He and his partners told the distributors and buyers to buy their onions at a higher price, or they will have no onions. The buyers bought his onions. At that time, reported 9 million pounds of them at a high price. And the Kasuga and gang, they took what they bought at a low price and sold at a very high price. That's how they made the money. Now, he didn't stop there. He thinks, okay, I can get the market, control it, make the price high. How about I short it and make the price low? So what he did next really triggered the anger from all the farmers, especially the onion farmers. So what he did really they call it like stabbed his fellow onion farmers across the country in the back. He controls onions, and he would like to make the price go down and short the market. He bet the market that the onion price will go down. What he did, he took whatever onions he had left in storage and trucked them to the Chicago Board of Trade. Literally flooded the market and the street with onions. At that time, onions were worthless at that point, and they were dumped to the Chicago River. You know, for the bag, the container of the onion itself was 20 cents. However, the bag with 50 pounds of onions only cost 10 cents. So Kasuga made millions of dollars. However, this action triggered the fellow onion farmers, the outcry by them, and at that time, they resulted the Onion Future Act, which became the law in 1958, banning futures trading in onions in United States. That's the only agricultural product you cannot trade futures till today. So Farmer Winston Kasuga was the only man who ever cornered the onion market, or to so successfully get away with cornering any agricultural commodity market. On the other side, let me think, for farmers, they are at the mercy of the weather, the soil, the plants during the growing season, and after that, the harvest of crops, they are at the mercy of the financial market to give a price to buy their product. So farmers are the price takers. But except this one, Kasuga, a farmer, and again who took matters into their own hands and became the farmers who gave prices and called the shots successfully. He died not long after his 86th birthday in 2001 on his farm. Still, he reported worth a lot of money. He became doing some charity donation work in his later lives. So this is a story about the Onion King, who was a farmer and became the king to control the market of onions. For this information, I will give credit here to the website I listed in the first page and NPR broadcast. So thank you for listening. Hope you enjoy the story, The Onion King, and maybe you are the future kings and queens. Thank you for watching. See you next time.